Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Peoria Unified School District's 2021-2022 Opening of Schools event.
Wait. Stop the video, please. Just stop the video. I know the past year has been tough on all of us, but it's a new year and we're excited to be back. Don't we have something a little more upbeat?
Sure thing, Jason. Can you give me a second? Skinny, can we start this over from the top?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Peoria Unified School District's 21-22 Opening of Schools event.
Okay, whoa, I know I said upbeat, but come on, that's a little ridiculous. I'm not sure we're ready to be that happy quite yet. We've had enough time in front of screens over the past year. Give me 1 second.
Once again, good morning and welcome to the 2021-2022 Opening of Schools event.
Good morning, everyone. Can we all agree we've had enough screen time? All right, then let's kick this off the right way. Let's do it completely in person. Let's see your smiling faces. Let's go.
And welcome to our Opening of Schools event this morning. At this time, please welcome retired Peoria teacher and published author, Ford Dudley. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the Cactus High School Air Force Junior ROTC Color Guard presents the flag, and Desert Harbor students Finn and Maddie Lukacek recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. And now, please welcome to the stage our Chief Communications Officer, Danielle Erie.
Well, good morning, Peoria Unified. After 2 years, I have to say, you look good. You look really good. It is so great to be together today. I'm so grateful for CCV for hosting us again and for their partnership. Can we give them a big thank you? If you could take a second, look around the room. I would venture to guess you see a handful of familiar faces, but probably a fair amount of new ones as well. To those of you who are new today, have maybe just joined our Peoria Unified family, or were hired last year and didn't have an opportunity to celebrate an in-person opening of schools with us, welcome. Those of you who have been a part of our team for a while, I hope you will find those who are new maybe after our program and wish them well as they are starting here on our team. If you are new, then allow me to be among the first to welcome you to your first opening of schools event. This is how we roll here in our district. This is a long-standing tradition, and we're so glad to have you here with us. You may have noticed when you came in today, we had a few reserved seats in the back of the room. Those were for our transportation team. If you came in on one of our yellow school buses today, would you give a big round of applause for our transportation team? We appreciate all of you so much. We're so glad you could drive so many here for us today. Well, this is going to be a really exciting morning. We have some information for you. We have some fun. We have some surprises. We're going to learn a little bit more about those here in just a little bit. Well, last year was a bit tough. But last year, this Peoria Unified family stepped up in absolutely incredible ways to meet our mission of making sure we served each and every student, whether they were joining us virtually or whether they were in our classrooms. You did an incredible job, and we are so proud how this Peoria Unified School District came together as one team to help support our students in our community. Now, I could go on and on this morning. I could spend really the entirety of our time together talking about how incredible you are. But I thought instead of doing that, we would hear a little bit about it from those who experienced it firsthand, from our students. It is my honor to introduce today 2021 Sunrise Mountain High School graduate and student body president, Michael Robbins.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Michael Robbins, and I have the privilege of calling myself a Sunrise Mountain and a Peoria Unified graduate. I want to thank every member of this district, as it is because of my amazing experiences with the staff that I've decided to pursue a career in education. It was made clear to me that you truly care about students, and you go out of your way to ensure that schools are not only places of learning, but also places of fun. I'm reminded specifically of a time last year when I dressed up as Thomas Paine in Mrs. Cockrell's AP European History class and discussed Enlightenment philosophies with other students. Experiences like that made my time at Peoria Unified memorable. And as student body president, I also saw in our district's administrations examples of sacrificial leadership that strives to put students first, striving to better the whole. With Dr. Reynolds as superintendent and principals like Mr. Setka, this district is in great hands. Last school year illustrated the profound effect that everyone in this auditorium has on the lives of students. Because last August, most of us thought that virtual learning was a terrible experiment that would turn out to be a bust. But we were wrong to believe this. I commend every staff member who put in the countless hours and dedication to make online learning as great as it could be. Once virtual learning began, my peers and I realized that you had all worked hard to provide the same high-quality Peoria Unified education to which we had grown accustomed. Because of your efforts, some students even chose to remain in virtual school, despite their feeling comfortable to attend in person. You truly exceeded expectations, and Peoria Unified effectively prevented many students from the dreaded COVID slide. When I returned in person, I noticed that every staff member woke up and wore a smile to school, resolving to put others first, namely to put students first. A few examples come to mind. I observed athletic directors working overtime to ensure that student athletes could play the most games they could while following COVID guidelines. At the same time, teachers were in their classrooms recording their lectures for students to watch at home, and the maintenance staff were working tirelessly to ensure our campuses were as safe as could be. And these examples are just a few small microcosms of the emphasis placed on the well-being of students in this district and this selfless spirit that radiates from the staff of Peoria Unified, from the people in this room, is why so many parents choose to send their students to Peoria Unified. In closing, while I'm used to saying that it is always a great day to be a Mustang, truly, it is always a great day to be a part of the Peoria Unified family because of the sacrifices you all make to prepare every student every day to shape tomorrow.
Isn't he great? And he is just one example of so many of our incredible graduates who are going out to do big things this year, thanks to you, and really despite all odds last year. So thank you to each and every one of you who made an impact, not only for Michael, but for all of our graduates. Well, we have some more celebrations to get to today. It's going to be very exciting. And if you've been around the Peoria Unified family for a while, then you know all about our Pride of Peoria. It's the way that we celebrate the top 1% of district staff here. And what makes it so special is those that receive this honor are nominated by their peers. Last year, there were a lot of things we had to do a little bit differently, but there was one tradition that survived the pandemic, and that's our prize patrol. Every year, our communications team goes out in full force, visits the schools that have Pride of Peoria recipients to announce that surprise and capture the moment. Let's take a look.
Good morning, Apache students and staff. Pardon the interruption, but I have an extremely important announcement. Everybody stop and freeze so you can hear this one. You have to know that we have a Pride of Peoria winner on our campus. If you don't know what Pride of Peoria is, it is an amazing tribute to the top 1% of all teachers across the entire district. So today, tomorrow, anytime in the next future that you see Miss Rodriguez in the halls, in her classroom, go up, give her an amazing high five, a fist bump, an elbow bump. Congratulate Miss Rodriguez on winning 2021 Pride of Peoria. Way to go, Miss Rodriguez. Thanks for all you do for our kids, our campus, and the district as a whole. Great job. Everybody have a fantastic day. Make awesome happen.
Nobody wants to wait for little miracles. Nobody wants to say I'm feeling insecure. It's hard to be this big when I'm feeling small. But I will keep on trying even when I fall. So put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. We got it on one another, we got it on one another. One foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. We got it on one another, we got it on one another. I don't wanna quit, but for the miracle, so unsure. It's hard to be this big when I'm feeling immature. But I'm gonna keep on trying even when I fall. So put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. We got it on one another, we got it on one another. One foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. We got it on one another, we got it on one another. I don't wanna quit, but for the miracle. 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 Oh, you may not see a particle, but rainbows are the skies way out. Telling us we are enough, and if you wanna be your test, cause you feel the emptiness. Go on and feel your loneliness. Go on and feel your loneliness. Then call me cause we're both in there. Don't wanna quit, but for the miracle. I 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 don't wanna quit, but for the miracle.
Wasn't that great? It's what it's all about, celebrating the achievements of so many that work so hard to impact our students. And again, recognizing that last year was a little different, I'd like to take a minute to recognize our Pride of Peoria, but I'd like to start with our 2020 Pride of Peoria because that was really different. If you were a 2020 Pride of Peoria recipient, would you stand so we may recognize you? And if you received a 2021 Pride of Peoria, would you please stand so we may recognize you? You have joined an elite group, and we are just so honored to be able to recognize you. So congratulations to our Pride of Peoria, and thank you for all that you do. Well, if you've been around this district, you know there's one other award that's very special. It's our Raymond S. Kellis Leadership Award, and every year we give out just 3 of those very special awards. And what's really cool is that we have two of them to give out today. So there are 2 winners in the audience, and they don't know that they won. So look around. It could be the person sitting next to you. It could even be you. But I'm not going to tell you who it is just yet. So we're going to wait a little bit. We'll get to that at the end of our program today. Cannot wait for that moment. But right now, to keep the celebrations going, it is my privilege to welcome 2021 Liberty High School graduate, Flynn Scholar, and part of the Met Professional Academy, Sylvia Lopez.
Hello all, and to those of you who don't know, I'm Sylvia Lopez, a 2021 graduate from Liberty High School. Go Lions! As a student, my junior and senior year were obviously a little unique. There were a lot of changes and adaptations I had to make as quickly and as smoothly as possible. But luckily, I had all of you as amazing examples of how to do that. While the defining moments of the last 2 years could have been all the hectic last-minute changes, not knowing what was going to happen tomorrow, or perhaps the times of waiting when we wouldn't know what would happen tomorrow, and the bombardment of questions from my parents, what stands out the most to me are some of the things that the staff at Liberty and the Met Professional Academy did for the students. I remember my engineering teacher calmly telling me that he didn't have all the answers, but he did know that no matter what happened, he would do his best. I remember my geometry teacher comforting students who I knew were just as frustrated as she was with this world's novel situation. I remember my bus driver from sophomore year still smiling and waving from behind a mask as I passed him on my way out of the neighborhood. I walked into a clean, bright campus every single day, and I cannot express how grateful I am for that. All of you took a less than ideal situation and made it bearable. But let's be honest, you do that every year. Every year, students come back from summer vacation with vacation blues, and you put a smile on our faces. You make it possible for students from all different backgrounds with all different attitudes towards school to receive an education. You give them space to make friends, to learn new things, and often the interactions you have with the students will teach them something that they won't learn from a textbook. Because of all the work that you've put into my education and the education of my peers, I feel prepared for my next step. You and I might not have had a direct interaction, but I would like to thank you right now for all the effort you put in and all the parts of yourselves that you give to your students. I won't pretend to know what it's like on your side of education, but I know that on my side, you make an impact. You are the people who have inspired me to go into education. I am more than confident that this year you will continue to be leaders, mentors, and make every day extraordinary. On behalf of my class and so many classes before, thank you for the role you play in making sure every student is prepared for tomorrow.
And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage our Peoria Unified Superintendent, Dr. Jason Reynolds.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is incredible to feel the energy in the room right now. The way that you come in and the chatter and the talking and the cheering, it just lets me know, lets our community know, lets our families know. More importantly, it lets our students know and us know we are ready to go. We are ready for this school year. We are ready to take on any challenge that come our way. This is the right group. This is the right team. And this is going to be an amazing year. Give yourselves a round of applause. So it is truly wonderful to see everyone here. We've got obviously our teachers and support staff, administrators across the district to talk a little bit about what you all mean was Michael and Sylvia. How amazing are they? And every single one of you in this room, regardless of what role you play, played a role in their success and play a role in the success of all 37,000 of our students. And it is because of your hard work, your dedication, your love for what you do. This is an amazing place to work. So thank you for that as well. I want to take just a minute and introduce a few people that are here with us today. They mean a great deal to me. They are a tremendous amount of support. They work tirelessly to try to do the work to support you and what you do in our sites and our departments. First of all, I'd like to introduce Ms. Michelle Meyer, our Chief Financial Officer. Chief of Academic Services, Dr. Kendra Bell. Chief Technology and Operations Officer, Mr. John Gay. By the way, he keeps trying to tell us that this is his last opening of schools, but we have a few more weeks and months to convince you to stay. No? All right, well, I won't, this is not your final answer. We'll talk about it later. We've got our Chief Student Services Officer, Dr. Carter Davidson. And we have Miss Danielle Airy, who is in the back. You've already seen her. Give her a round of applause and her team for everything that she does. And last but not least, pending governing board approval. That's the official answer. Pending governing board approval on August 12th, our new Chief Personnel Officer, Ms. Laura Vesley. I almost said Chris Lopez Lira. I'm like, I looked right at Chris. Yeah, Ms. Laura Vesley. So on August 12th, we are super excited to welcome her to our team. So thank you for that. As well, we have two distinguished guests, two people who support this district, who have stepped up to serve this community among some pretty difficult circumstances. And so I'd like to welcome Ms. Becky Hill, our governing board member. Ms. Hill made the decision to run in the middle of a pandemic, whether you knew that that's what was coming or not, but you made that decision, and so thank you for that very much, as well as President David Sandoval. President Sandoval, when you chose to lead, when you chose to step up and be the president, I don't know whether you knew what was coming, but I truly, truly appreciate, we all appreciate you stepping up to lead and the work that you do to guide us through where we are. So thank you very much. All right, so I started the day, unfortunately, looking in the mirror. And I was reminded that I am old. And my life was flashing back through all of the years that I was sitting in opening school ceremonies and all of the assemblies and all of those meetings, looking up at old people talking about how great the year was going to be. So then I started to do the math, right? Math teachers. I started to do the math. Big clap for math. Again, don't get too excited. It was simply addition and subtraction. But I started to do the math, and I realized that this is my 29th year of being, of welcoming students back to school. 29 years. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea where it went. Like it seems, again, just like yesterday, where I was a young teacher or a young administrator, and now 29 years. 29 years. It's crazy. But we know, we spend a lot of time talking about how do we attract the best and the brightest? How do we get the best and brightest out of college? How do we attract those young teachers and young staff members? How do we attract new teachers and staff members to our district? And I was reminded, 29 years later, I was reminded that our veteran staff, whether you were a teacher, whether you're a staff member, whether you're a bus driver, whether you work in construction, whether you work in grounds, our veteran teachers, our veteran staff members are the reason why we are able to do what we do. It is because of those teachers who've stuck it out, those teachers who have made it a career. It's because of you that Peoria Unified is Peoria Unified, that we are a family and that we will face any challenge that comes our way. And so, I want to do a little experiment. I think right around about 10 years, right, is kind of a tipping point for us in education. Is that fair? About 10, right? When you hit that 10-year mark, you're like, I am in, right? Before that, you were like, I am out. But when you hit that 10-year mark, that's kind of where that tipping point is. And so, if you'll indulge me for just a second, those of you who have either taught or worked for a public school district for 10 years or more, please stand. Wow. Wow. Okay, wait, stay standing. When you're young, do you see the theme here? When you're young, right, your life goes by in decades. So let's start with decades, and we'll talk why we're gonna go to 5 years in just a second. If you have been working in public education for 20 years or more, stay standing. It's awesome. Okay, again, when you're 20, you celebrate like 20, right? 10, big birthday, 20, big birthday, 30, huge birthday, 40, big birthday. When you hit 50, you start thinking in 5-year increments, right? You start celebrating more often. So we just celebrated 20. If you've been working for 25 years, stay standing. "30 years, 30 years, stay standing." "35 years. All right, you know what's coming next. And that's it, we're not going beyond 40. 40 years. Do we have anyone in the room who's been working in public education for 40 years or longer? All right, if you've been 40 years, sit down because you are tired at this point, right? So no matter what, no matter how many years you have been working in public education, no matter how many years you have dedicated to working with students, to making sure that they've got all the skills they need to accomplish their goals and reach their dreams, we all remember day one. Whether it was a year ago, whether it was 10 years ago, whether it was 29 years ago. We all remember that first day of working in public education, first day in the classroom, first day driving a bus route, first day watching hundreds of hungry kids walking through a cafeteria door, right? The first day you served as a school nurse, or the first time you watched kids play on something you built or learn in a room that you designed. We all remember that first day, and in about, how many hours do we have till Wednesday? Yeah, who's counting? We have some amazing people joining our school district, and this will be the very first year that they will be serving students across the district. So regardless of what role you play in this school district, whether you're a teacher, they're a classified staff member, administrator, if this is the first year where you're going to be serving students, please stand up. So, I am feeling like a new teacher all over again. Now, some of you are like, hey, wait a second. This is your second year as superintendent. Why is it feel? Because I got robbed last year of this experience, and a lot of us got robbed of that experience. So I'm taking this one as feeling like I'm a first-year teacher all over again in that excitement, because we all remember what that felt like. We remember what walking into our classroom was like the very first time. I vividly remember, even to the point I remember what I was wearing on that day. And although some people who I had just met who became my dear friends ribbed me for years that my tie was lavender, it's purple, it's not lavender. Walking in, knowing what I'm dressed, I can remember not being able to sleep the night before. I remember the drive to school, I remember the classroom, I remember all of those things. I remember walking in and making sure everything was perfect and that I was ready to go. But I also remember the anxiety. I remember the self-doubt. I remember thinking, am I ready to do this? Do I have the training? Do I have the patience? Do I have the courage? Do I have the expertise to be able to walk these students through their learning journey? And then, like it does every single year, even today, when that bell rings or those students start walking through the front door, all of that anxiety, all of those questions, all of those thoughts leave. And then I'm filled with the joy, I'm filled with the confidence, I'm filled with the honor of being a public school teacher, a public educator. All that other stuff goes away, and that is the feeling that we all know, that we all love, that we're all gonna be feeling in a little bit. And that is what I wanna challenge you, those feelings, right? That feeling of that newness, that feeling of joy, that feeling of honor, that courage. That's what I challenge you every year to be thinking about. And it's an important thing that we remember. So do me a favor. Let's take just 2 minutes. And I want you to turn to somebody next to you. And I want you to share with them one memory of your first day serving public education students. Take a few minutes, go. Keep it appropriate. Keep it appropriate. All right, take a few seconds, minute to start finishing up those conversations. All right already. So I can tell by that this is way better than Teams. Mr. Gay, Teams is great. No, it is a wonderful tool. It's an amazing way. I don't know how we would have gotten through last year without that kind of technology to be able to connect us with students, to be able to connect us with each other. It is changing how we think about the four walls of a classroom. It's changing how we think about the facilities that we work in, the offices. So, but this is This is significantly better. So again, thinking about what you just talked about as we head into that year, every year, multiple times a year, think about those experiences. Think about that joy that we feel as new teachers and we feel as we move through. So last week, we brought together all of the administrators across the district, and we gave them an opportunity to collaborate. We gave them an opportunity to learn and grow, look at data, share ideas. And I had a few minutes to talk with them about how I'm looking at the new year, how I'm approaching the new year, how I hope we approach the new year. And I'm not talking about mitigation strategies. I'm not talking about masks and vaccines and social distancing. Those are all incredibly important. But I know that we got that part, right? We proved that we can do it. We were leaders in bringing students back to in-person learning. And not only were we leaders in bringing students back to in-person learning, but we stayed there the rest of the year when others didn't. And I am so proud of the work that all of you did, right? The teamwork that you showed in your sites and in your schools and your departments, the way that you build confidence in your parents, and more importantly, in your students, that we can get through this. The hard work, the countless hours you put in learning new tools, new procedures, new ways of doing things. It was absolutely incredible. The way that you opened your hearts to kids in a new way, trying to learn what that looks like over a screen, it was absolutely remarkable. But more importantly, the courage that each and every one of you showed in coming back, in facing this pandemic, and knowing that the very best place for a child to be is working face-to-face with their teacher every single day. Give yourselves a round of applause for that, because that is absolutely incredible. So as we brought the administrators together and I started talking to them about the new year, and again, it's not about mitigation, it's about how are we going to focus? How are we gonna make sure that our minds and our hearts are ready to face some of the challenges ahead of us? I talked about 3 words that are gonna be kind of keys for me when I start to feel stressed, when I start to feel like this is a lot, when I start to feel like here we go again. And those 3 words are normalcy. They are, let me start with normalcy. The first word that when I think about it, and some of you I can see out in the audience, or even right now, you're talking about normalcy. Really? Normalcy. How long have you been teaching? Has it always looked like this for you? Right? It hasn't. Normalcy to me is what we talk about how our schools are being, right? And as you see some numbers on the rise, cases on the rise, when you think about all the things that we're gonna be facing this year, normalcy to me means the opportunities that we provide our students. And you did a fantastic job of doing your very best, doing our very best to create normal situations for our kids, to make school feel normal. But we all know there were portions of the year, there were parts of the year, maybe it extended throughout the whole year, where it didn't feel normal at all. And so I challenge you as we head into this first year, into this new year, to look for more opportunities to create normal experiences for our kids. You do a fantastic job in the classroom, and they're working, they're doing that whole thing, but it's all those things outside of the classroom, the way that we connect learning beyond the classroom, the way that they apply their knowledge, all of those activities, all of those things that make school feel like school. We need to keep challenging ourselves to find those opportunities for students. We need to make our decisions based on hope and not based on our fears. Nelson Mandela, the president of South Africa, former president, obviously, of South Africa, the anti-apartheid champion, the Nobel Peace Prize winner, he said this. He said, "Let your decisions be based in hope let your decisions reflect your hope, not reflect your fears. And that's where I want to be. That's what I'm challenging us to do when it comes to normalcy and providing those experiences for our students. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be rocky. And that's why flexibility is the second word that I'm going to use to kind of center me, to kind of get me back into thinking, because I wanted nothing more than to stand up here today and tell you COVID's in the past. The pandemic's over. We get to start focusing on the future without that around our shoulders. But it's not, right? We know that. We know we're going to be facing some challenges. And so when we talk about flexibility, I'm really talking about words like empathy and grace and compassion and patience. We have to continue to show each other all of those things, because this year is going to be bumpy, especially as we start off. There's going to be some challenges that come our way, but we need to show our students empathy and patience. We need to show each other empathy and patience. We need to show parents empathy and patience and compassion, because they're going through a lot too. But more importantly, maybe most importantly right now, we have to show each other and ourselves empathy and compassion. We have to show ourselves patience. We have to make it okay that this doesn't always feel great when we're showing up every day and showing that courage that it takes to be able to educate students. So I want to make sure that as these things happen and you move, I don't know if you're like me, I was somewhere around June. So let me back up. My wife, she calls me WCS, worst case scenario. No matter what we're doing, it doesn't matter. I have a tendency. I think it's responsibility. I think it's a good characteristic. She less so, right? We hope, we want, right, the good thing to happen, but we should be prepared always in case it doesn't. And there's a few times in my life where I haven't been WCS. And I don't know how this is going to play out, but in June, somewhere in there, May, June, I really started to let myself think about what this looks like, right? I started to, as masks started to come off, as we were able to kind of move around, and especially as we ended the year, and we did end of the year ceremonies and 8th grade promotions, and we did graduation, and it was spectacular and fantastic, and I'm ready for the new year. But over the last few weeks, when we start to see some of those things, I start to get a little disappointed, disillusioned. And so I have to use those terms. I gotta use that word flexibility to make sure that I remind myself that it's okay to feel that way. It's okay that we're going to see those challenges. And so as we enter that year, most importantly, please, as you look at yourselves and you look at the work you do, if you get frustrated, if you get concerned, if you get frightened, scared, think about flexibility. Think about that grace to give yourselves and to give the people around you. And the last word that I think about that I'm going to use is achievement. Now, for our teachers in the room, you're probably already, as you dive in and you're getting in, working in your professional learning communities, you're probably already starting to look at some of that data that came out after last year. And I want you to know that, yeah, of course, it dipped. It was lower than we wanted. It went down. And that's okay. There's no way that we could miss the fourth quarter of the year prior and then have all of our students online for almost the entire first quarter and not expect to see some fluctuations in our student achievement. And so it's important for me, as you start to look at that data, that you remember that it is not in no way a reflection of the hard work and the passion and the dedication that every single one of you showed. It is simply a foundation that we are going to use and we're going to look at. I'm not going to ignore that either. We're going to take a look at that data and we're going to find out where our kids are missing. We're going to find out where those gaps are, and we're going to use it as a springboard as we continue to move our students towards the future. And it's going to take hard work, and it's going to take an entire team, an entire support team. It's going to take teachers working in your professional learning communities. It's going to take the teachers' hard work. It's going to take the work of every single employee, every single person in this room in order to get our kids from where they are to where we want them to be. And we're going to use that data to rebound. We're going to use it to rethink. We're going to use it to re-energize ourselves. We're going to use it to re-engage our students. And we are going to bring them back to where they need to be. It is absolutely critical. We cannot wait another single year. We cannot let this pandemic move us further down. We have got to take it right now on that foundation, and with hard work and dedication and passion and the people in this room, we are going to move it forward. Now, it's important to recognize, with all of that there were some areas, there were some teachers, there were some grade levels that experienced not just staying flat, but experienced growth in the middle of this pandemic. And it's important that we recognize that, and it's important that we see where those pockets are, and it's important that we celebrate them. So when we think about ELA, the K-8 level, 5th grade at Cheyenne improved their numbers. 4th grade at Altaloma, 3rd grade at Foothills, 3rd and 4th grade at Marshall Ranch, 7th graders at Oakwood, Lake Pleasant, and Conchina. All of those are examples of grade levels that didn't stay flat, didn't decline, but improved. Another round of applause for those teachers and those grade levels and those kids. In math, 6th graders at Cotton Bowl and Apache, 5th graders at Cheyenne, 4th graders at Peoria Elementary and Peoria Traditional, 3rd graders at Marshall Ranch, 7th graders at Kachina, 8th graders at Sun Valley. All improved. Oh, and by the way, high schools, our seniors broke the previous record and earned over $70 million in college scholarships this past year. And you did that, and they did that in the middle of a pandemic with all the challenges we face. So as we look to the future, it is important that we think about, it's important that each day, as we remember what it's like, that energy, that excitement, what it's like to be a first-year teacher, what it's like to be a first-year superintendent, that we focus on making sure that we are focused on achievement, that we are focused on flexibility, and that we make sure that we're working each and every day to care for our children, to make sure that they are known, valued, and cared for, to make sure that they are challenged, to make sure that they have a place where school feels as normal as we can possibly be. This is an incredible team. Every single one of you has a role in this work, and I am so proud to be the superintendent of the Peoria Unified School District. Thank you so much for last year, and let's get going, because this year is going to be fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Reynolds, and I'm glad you're not running off just yet, because there's more.
It's the part I've been waiting for.
So remember, I promised we have 2 awards we have to give out today. It's our Raymond S. Kellis Leadership Awards, and I was thinking, you have managed to kind of go through just about everything that's a tradition here in Peoria Unified, except this.
I hope so.
So this is super exciting, super exciting. We are just moments away from recognizing two very special Raymond S. Kellis Leadership Awards. But to share just a little bit more about what it is that makes these awards so special, please direct your attention to the screens.
Over its more than a century of educating students in the West Valley, the Peoria Unified School District has had many wonderful superintendents, but none has had the long-lasting impact and represented the goals and ideas of the district more than Dr. Raymond S. Kellis. He began his career at Peoria High School in 1959, working as a teacher, bus driver, and football coach. After working in other districts in Arizona, Dr. Kellis returned to Peoria in 1975 as assistant superintendent and was appointed superintendent 3 years later. During his 17 years in office, Peoria experienced its most rapid growth, opening 20 new schools and establishing itself as one of the finest districts in the state. That success was a reflection of the leadership, values, and dedication to public education that was modeled by Dr. Kellis every day. Today, 2 decades after he first retired as superintendent, the impact of Dr. Kellis's vision for the district still plays out on our campuses and across the valley and state that he called home. For 20 years, the district has been proud to recognize exemplary leaders in administration, teaching, and support staff with an award named in his honor. The legacy of Dr. Kellis lives on through the hard work and commitment to students demonstrated by these outstanding Peoria employees.
Dr. Kellis was an extraordinary human being, and he is the epitome of what education was all about. That man talked the talk and walked the walk.
He taught me, a couple of things that have carried with me through my whole life and my whole career, and they're very simple things, really. And that is, no matter what decision you make sure it's in the best interest of kids.
He was committed to the ongoing learning of every student in the district. That was his vision.
He never failed to inspire me, to make me want to be a better teacher, a better person, a better parent.
I just felt very privileged to work with him. Seeing a person who understood very clearly this thing called public education again, and that it's what makes our children's lives successful. It's what makes our democracy strong. It's what our future is all about, and he got that.
He encouraged people to give all of their hearts to the children. And I see that around me every day in our teachers and all of our staff. They are dedicated, they're hardworking, and they're selfless. The hours they spend to invest in these children is amazing, and they get that from Dr. Kellis's vision.
Tonight, we are proud to reflect on the profound impact that Dr. Kellis had on the district and look forward to honoring 3 current leaders who will bear that vision into our future.
Hello, I'm Quinn Kellis, one of 8 children of Raymond S. Kellis. On behalf of the Kellis family, I congratulate each of the Pride of Peoria Award recipients and share a big congratulations to the Raymond S. Kellis Leadership Award recipients. Peoria School District is fortunate to have extraordinary support staff, teachers, and administrators. To those of you who are being recognized today, you represent your peers and colleagues who are also the heart and soul of Peoria. As superintendent of the Dysart School District, I know how hard every employee in Peoria has worked during the past year to allow in-person learning. When other districts were shut down, Peoria provided extraordinary learning experiences for students. In my mind, each one of you is a hero for putting students first. Many years ago, when my father was superintendent of Peoria, he faced the biggest challenge of his career. There was a student with a new medical condition that little was known about at the time, and everyone had different opinions about whether or not they should be allowed to come to school. After a lot of soul searching, my dad came to the conclusion that there is only one thing that stays with us in this life: the things we learn. Well, as educators, that's exactly what we do best. He committed to give that student the very best education Peoria could give during the precious time that he had left. I applaud you for your service to the families of Peoria. Again, congratulations to the Pride of Peoria and the Raymond S. Kellis Leadership Award recipients. I wish you the very best new year.
So are you ready?
I'm a little nervous. I'm anxious about this.
Are you ready? I say we do it.
This teacher has served their campus for 15 years in a humble manner, always seeking to ensure students have a positive role model. Facilitating a collaborative environment in their classroom, this teacher creates foundational understanding that their students use throughout their educational career. This award winner recognizes that students yearn for a sense of purpose, belonging, and connectedness, and creates an atmosphere that accommodates that. In the classroom and on the field, he models hard work, perseverance, and dedication. He creates connections with the students that stay with them throughout college and career and invests in the community that surrounds his campus. This person is known for his dependability and his determination to never stop learning or never to stop doing what is best for his community. This winner's commitment to the betterment of Peoria Unified began when he was a student, and he has continued throughout his career, which began in one of his former classrooms, as he advocates for his students. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce the 2021 Raymond S. Kellis Leadership and Teaching Award to winner Mr. Michael Guffey from Heritage Elementary School. Michael, come on up. More hugs. Let him go down the line, Danielle. Come on, we're not. Sheesh.
This was a huge surprise. I'll try to be real quick. I want to thank all my current staff members at Heritage, the teachers I had at Heritage and at Ironwood, everyone that I've worked with, coaching, everyone that I've worked with, science department. This is yours. Thank you.
Congratulations. So it's hard enough when you have like weeks to prepare for a speech, let alone a few minutes. At least you didn't forget the 3 words you're going to use to support. Number 2?
I think we have one more.
Our next recipient will receive the Leadership in Support Staff Award. Quiet leadership has been used to describe this support staff member that has served Peoria Unified for over a decade. This individual has helped to heal and care for thousands of students and staff throughout their career, always doing so with a high level of professionalism and ease. Prior to the pandemic, peers leaned on this employee because of how knowledgeable she is and her willingness to help ensure everyone is set up for success. During the pandemic, she emulated Dr. Kellis in that she was tirelessly dependable, regardless of the personal sacrifice that took place. We all remember the first weeks of the pandemic and the uncertainty that was felt at all levels of our organization, but thanks to her leadership, we were able to navigate the unknown. Her ethics, her leadership ability, organizational skills, and rapport made the impossible task of reopening our schools possible. Her willingness to listen and empathize with staff on their hardest of days made the biggest of difference in the day-to-day lives of hundreds of employees this year. Her commitment to the health of our community is unparalleled, and I know I have relied greatly on her medical expertise as she has led our district nurses through this pandemic. I am honored to present this award to our district's lead nurse, Miss Lisa Alexander, who in the face of a global pandemic What I was going to say is in the face of a global pandemic, Miss Alexander worked tirelessly, hours. Keep going. I'm pausing so you can get more hugs. Worked tirelessly to make sure each and every one of us, and more importantly, our students and families, were safe. Congratulations, Lisa.
Wow, there's a lot of people. Terminator disinfectant made me cry. Can I keep this award? I once cried to Miss Sari, who probably called me with something really professional. And that's how COVID response team was born. I couldn't do this. Like, I did guidelines and this and that, but it was my health team who did all the implementation, and this is for them, really. I just don't know, if I didn't have such a good team, this wouldn't have gone so well. So I think they're everything, and they're the ones keeping our schools open and working so hard. So seriously, I share this with them. And my husband, because I always knew there was a pandemic, but I didn't always know I had a family. I didn't see them, and we were all in the same house. So he's done everything for me. So I think that's it. Just thank you.
You ready? This administrator has humbly served their campus with a positive attitude, impacting every student, employee, community member they meet. When students are struggling, this administrator coaches them and leads with a vision of what they can do and empowers everyone to do their best. This person invests in people and knows how important family is to the success of every staff member and student they encounter, prioritizing relationships that he builds. Like a true leader, this administrator knows that the success of the whole school is dependent on the success of each individual. He takes the time to listen to his team and checks in with each employee, seeking to find out how he can make their day brighter. Our award winner has embodied magic on their campus and throughout the district and their entire career. He is someone who demonstrates and models behaviors. He collaborates, he accepts responsibility, he gives respect, and he encourages everyone to improve. This person is known for having an attitude that is contagious and impacts everyone. And he has quickly become one of my confidants, my life coach, and the person that pumps me up regularly to do this work. From the wrestling mat to the assistant principal's office, he has led with compassion and determination for more than 3 decades. It is my pleasure to announce Mr. Sammy Chagoya from Marshall Ranch Elementary as this year's Raymond S. Kellis Award winner. Keep going, more hugs, let's go. Miss Airy said a couple words.
First of all, I'd like to thank my mother and father for giving me the ability to be here and do what I do. I know they're watching in heaven with my brother. I want to thank all my teachers, Peoria Elementary, Alta Loma, Go Lobos, and all the teachers that I had at Peoria High School, because I would not be here without them. Mr. Corey, he's not here, but I want to thank him for giving me the ability to dream. Mr. Steve Gillett for giving me the ability to learn vocabulary words to be where I'm at today, and Davida Salter standing in the back there that gave me the ability in student council to look ahead and stay focused. This one's going to my daughter. Everyone always asks me about things that, about wrestling, and something that Superintendent needs to know. I tell my daughter on a daily basis, I know she probably gets tired sometimes, but talent determines what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines how much you're going to do. And attitude determines how you're going to do it. And all my teachers that I've ever had in this district, all I can tell you is I'm blessed to have had you guys in my life, and I just can't believe I'm standing here, guys. This is, I have a hard time every year. I tell Joe Corbett and personal things in my life. I can tell you every 4 years, and I'll start watching today, every 4 years, because I did not make the Olympic team in '88, it's very difficult to watch. I will tell you this. I told my daughter I wasn't good enough that day, and that's okay. Just do your very best in what you do in life, and things will get better. It's all right. So watching those guys win and lose, I've just been blessed. I just want to thank everybody and whoever wrote the letters. I'm blessed. That's all I got to tell you. Thank you. God bless. And
ladies and Mr. Sammy Chagoya.
God bless. Thank you.
Well, that was worth the wait, don't you think? It was. Big congratulations to you, Sammy, and thanks to the family for coming out to celebrate with him. This has been awesome.
Oh,
Don't you think?
I am so excited for this year. Wednesday, the bus is rolling. Food service workers working, serving food, our crosswalk guards welcoming students, our front office staff. It is gonna be unbelievable to welcome our students back.
It's going to be awesome, and it's going to be because of all of you working together. We can't wait to kickstart this new year. We are so glad that you joined us today. I want to thank once again CCV, their team, their volunteers that were here helping us today. Thank you. We hope you make this the best year ever. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.